Welcome to Love on the Pod, a podcast about all the cheesy romantic TV movies we adore. I'm Jessica.
I'm Danny.
And I'm Sherri.
And today we are excited to discuss Savoring Paris, which is a Hallmark movie that was part of their Passport to Love series. And we're going to do a few of these movies, but this is the first one that we've watched in the series. So I'm going to give you guys a little synopsis, a little info about the movie, and then we'll talk about what you thought. So, disillusioned with her life, Ella embarks on a soul-searching journey to Paris, where she navigates love, self-discovery, and cheese in the enchanting backdrop of the city of love. Thank you, IMDb, for that very tongue-twisting synopsis. That's helpful. The release date was June 8th, 2024. And this stars Bethany Joy Lenz, who you may know from One Tree Hill, and I know her from Dexter, as well as a ton of other Hallmark movies like A Biltmore Christmas, which came out, I think, last year.
Yes, A Biltmore Christmas is one of my favorites. This one came out and I watched it right away. Obsessed. Love it so much. So I was excited to watch another one of her movies.
It's so good.
And I don't know if it's because of the way she dresses in A Biltmore Christmas, but she reminds me, even in this movie, she reminds me so much of Rachel McAdams in The Notebook.
Oh, I could see that.
Yes.
Sorry, I have a mosquito buzzing around my head and it's driving me nuts.
So the movie also stars Stanley Weber, who is a French actor, and he is known for Not Another Happy Ending and The Origin of Violence.
Oh,
yes. I have not seen either of those, but I thought he was great in this movie. I really enjoyed him. And then we also see Ben Wiggins, who is known for Mary, Queen of Scots, and has had guest spots on tons of shows like The Witcher and You.
Oh, You is so creepy. Have you guys seen that?
No, I've never watched it.
I couldn't watch it. I started to, I couldn't watch it.
I watched the first season and it was like a train wreck. I couldn't look away. It was horrible and scary, but I couldn't look away. And then I couldn't watch the next season. It was too much for me, but it is really well done. It's just scary.
I really like that actor because I, of course, watched Gossip Girl when I was younger.
Yes.
So I really like him. We've watched The Witcher. Have you guys seen that?
No.
It's pretty good. It's kind of in that like Game of Thrones realm where it's violent and that type of thing. But once Henry Cavill left, we stopped watching it. So.
Oh, Superman.
Yes.
Oh.
He was the main character, and then his Superman schedule conflicted and they replaced him. And it wasn't as good after.
So it was supposed to be the same character, just a different actor?
Yeah.
Oh, that was their mistake.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure the show got canceled after they did that.
That's tough to overcome when they do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Unless it's a soap opera. They can get away with it on the soap
They're
opera.
interchangeable.
Nobody cares.
Doesn't matter.
They can do that for a day.
No one can live forever.
Will be played by.
She's sick, so we have somebody else filling in today. So this was directed by Claire Niederprum, who has also done a lot of Hallmark movies, just so many that I've watched, especially Christmas ones. And I watched an interview with Bethany Joy Lenz, and she was talking about how wonderful Claire was to work with. And the filming location of this movie was in Paris, but also in Sofia, Bulgaria.
I feel like that is a common theme for Hallmark when they're filming, because we talked about a movie a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about the wine movies.
Mm-hmm.
There was one that was supposed to be based in Paris, and it was filmed partially in Paris and partially in Bulgaria.
Mm-hmm.
So seems to be pretty common.
Yeah, I wonder if it's because Paris is so busy that it's harder to film there, maybe, or maybe it's more expensive there because it's a very popular city to visit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could be.
And they probably have a similar landscape so they can get away with it.
Yeah. And we'll do a little down the rabbit hole on Sofia later because it is a gorgeous city and I now want to go there.
Okay.
So I want to hear what your initial thoughts are. What did you guys think of this movie?
I love Bethany Joy Lenz anyway. She's adorable. And well, of course, the things that struck me were the outfits that she wore throughout the movie. And we can talk about that a little bit more later if you want. But oh my gosh, so cute. Makes me want to just go shopping, buy nice clothes, eat cheese and bread, and sip wine at a cafe. It was really cute.
Yeah, I loved it. Like you said, Mom, it's funny how in some movies the wardrobe strikes you and in others you don't really think twice about it. But in this movie in particular, like half of my notes are just noting down her outfits because they were so fantastic. I would wear literally everything that she wore in this movie.
Everything.
So,
including the bright red lipstick.
yes, loved it. Absolutely loved it.
What was your favorite outfit of hers?
Oh my gosh, there's so many.
Let me look at my list. I have to choose.
The first one that jumped out for me was the black skirt with the black and white striped top and the rose choker.
Mm.
And then I think she had a beret on at the beginning of the scene and she took it off. But it was quintessential France, what we Americans think of when we think of France. It was so cute. And the bright red lipstick just topped it off.
Yeah, she said that she supplied some of her wardrobe. So she wore some of her own clothes. And her favorite outfit was also my favorite. And it was a Cezanne two-piece. It was the strapless brown outfit that she wears towards the end. It has big flowers all over it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And the mustard headband that she had on with it. Oh,
yes,
I loved
very
it.
cute.
So cute.
I think my favorite, there's so many. I seriously loved everything that she wore, including like the sweatshirt and jeans situation she was wearing when she got off the plane. Everything was so, so cute. And it's funny because before I even realized that there was going to be so much great fashion in this movie, I actually noted that down. Like in the beginning, her getting off the plane, she's wearing this cute striped hoodie and sweatshirt and a baseball cap. I was like, it's very Carly Jean Los Angeles, very casual, totally something that I probably have in my closet right now. Really, really cute. And then she, like, as her character evolves, her wardrobe evolves, which I thought was really cool that reflected the changes in her personality and her kind of confidence. And so I loved that. But my very, very favorite was the one that she wore on Bastille Day when they went to see the fireworks. And she was wearing that giant pink bow pantsuit situation. Oh, she had the ponytail in her hair and it was like dark pink on the bottom, light pink on top with a big bow across her chest. So, so cute. I loved.
Very cute.
Yeah. So many cute outfits. Loved them all.
Well, and you were talking about traveling and, Jess and I are going on the Hallmark Christmas cruise. And so you see movies like this and you think, oh, well, I usually get on the plane. I'm wearing black leggings and a schlumpy sweatshirt. Do I need to step up my game? They always look so cute just getting off the airplane. And I look like I've been, sleeping in a trash bag or something. It's just. So maybe I need to.
Yeah, I can't
look for some airplane wear.
I can't imagine wearing jeans on a flight to Europe. That's something hard pass. I'm not going to be doing that.
No, they would have to have so much stretch.
They were like a relaxed fit, though. They weren't like skinny jeans. So I could see that as long as they fit really well. If they were tight in the waist at all whatsoever, forget it. I'm not going to sit down in those for more than 20 minutes.
No.
But I typically am a leggings and an oversized t-shirt girl when it comes to travel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's comfortable.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There was a moment in my early 20s where I was like, oh, I'm going to be dressed up fully for the plane every single time. Not anymore. That doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah. We used to go to conferences together and we would wear heels and slacks and a nice blouse or a dress or whatever. Looking back, I'm thinking to myself, why on earth would I ever wear heels on a plane? Why?
Running through the airport.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, gosh. I think for me, it was usually to save room in my suitcase. I had
Well,
it on
that's
my
fair.
body, then I didn't have to fit
That's
it in my
true. You know you want
suitcase.
to bring them, so why not just wear them?
Yeah. All right. Should we get into the movie recap?
Yes,
Sure,
let's
we
do
could talk
it.
about fashion forever, but we
I
should probably
know.
talk about the
I know,
movie.
right?
We should have an episode dedicated to our favorite fashion moments.
Oh, yes. And
That's
we should
good.
definitely put pictures of our favorite outfits in stories
Oh, yes.
this week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we open with Ella, who works at Bon Vivant, which is a restaurant chain. Her recipe for a croque comté gets chosen as a featured item, but when she tastes it, she finds it to be disgusting, as the restaurant took shortcuts with cheese that is not authentic.
How dare.
We've all had a bad grilled cheese.
You got to have good cheese.
I don't think I've ever had a bad grilled cheese, to be honest. Cheese, I mean, Safeway cheddar is fine.
I know they kept dogging cheddar. Sorry,
I
dogging
know.
cheddar in this movie. I'm like, I like cheddar.
I love
Yeah.
cheddar.
One of my favorite places is the Tillamook Cheese Factory in Oregon. I will
Mhm.
eat so much cheddar. It's delicious.
Yes.
Yeah, I made myself a grilled cheese yesterday, and it was
Yum.
Colby Jack, which I'm sure that they would not be happy with.
Probably not, but that
Probably
sounds
not.
great. You know, I really wanted to try Comté after seeing this movie and multiple other types of cheese, Comté and Mimolette to be precise. And I tried to find it at Safeway, couldn't. They have it at like Whole Foods or Met Market, those kind of grocery stores, but it's very expensive. So I was like, maybe not today. I
Yeah,
can't spend $35 on a tiny little wheel of cheese.
No,
Oh, yeah.
I called a cheese shop here in San Antonio and asked them if they had either one, and they're like, "Well, we don't usually get requests for those cheeses." And I'm like, "Okay, but do you have them?" And she said, "Oh, we have them in the fall." I'm like, "But it's not fall right now."
I want
Don't
my
you watch
Comté.
Hallmark?
Yeah.
This is a summer movie. We
All
want our
these
cheese
cheese
now.
shops like get a rush of people asking them for these kinds of
Right.
cheese. Oh, yeah. I think Central Market has it down here, which is like our version of Whole Foods. But I didn't go out there. So maybe in the fall I'll go to the
Cheese road
shop.
trip.
Yeah, seriously.
Revisit the cheese in the fall. Maybe it'll be less expensive at Met Market at that point.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so impulsively, Ella decides to go to Paris and get away from her corporate ladder life. And how nice would that be to just be like, you know what? I'm just going to quit my job and I'm just going to go to Paris. And
Mhm.
that's fine. No big deal.
Yeah.
I know.
Just,
Well, yeah, because it's like she almost had somewhat of a midlife crisis because she's thinking back on her trip to Paris when she was in her 20s, which I think is what the montage at the very beginning of the movie, the opening, is referring to, showing her walking through Paris all smiley and happy, and her hair's a little bit shorter. So I think that was like trying to show her trip to Paris when she was younger.
mhm.
And she was talking about how she was the happiest she's ever been. And then she realized, like, I'm never going to be that happy again. So she just quits her job and up and leaves and goes to Paris so she can be happy and eat cheese again.
Yeah.
All because her company used cheap cheese.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm such a planner. There's no way I could do that. I'm not
No.
spontaneous with big things like that. You know, if it's like, let's go off and go on a road trip for a day, great. But to leave everything, go to Paris, quit your job, I would have to have such a cushion in the bank and know what I'm going to do when I'm getting there. Do I have a job when I get there? I'm not a fly by the seat of my pants kind of girl.
Mhm.
I would totally do it. Obviously, I have children and a husband, so I wouldn't do it in my current situation. But, but if
Bye.
I were in her situation, I was single, didn't have attachments to speak of, yeah, I'd do it 100%. I think it would be fun. Have to brush up on my French because I only know how to say my name is, but
No, you know how to say cheese. Fromage.
fromage. Du fromage, yes. And I assume that Comte and Mimolette are also French words, so I know
I'm
those.
guessing
I
so.
wonder what they mean.
I don't know. Oh, and I
Cheese.
know bonjour.
Yes. Thank you, Belle from Beauty and the Beast.
Just watch Beauty and the Beast.
Oh my gosh. Are you looking up what they mean?
Yes. Well, there is a French philosopher and mathematician named Auguste? I don't know how to say this. Auguste Comte.
Oh,
That's
okay.
all.
Does he like cheese?
That's all that comes
Was
up.
the cheese named after him? I think we
Oh,
need a deep
Comte
dive.
is French for a count or a nobleman.
Oh, so it's a
Oh,
noble
so it's
cheese.
fancy cheese. Yes.
It's noble cheese.
When I kept talking about cheese, all I could think about was that episode of Friends when Chandler gets Joey's girlfriend, the Velveteen Rabbit, and he decides not to give it to her, and he decides to give it to Joey so that he can give it to his girlfriend. And she comes back to Chandler and she's like, I know you bought this. And he says, well, what, how do you know that? And she's like, because when Joey gave it to me, he said, I know you like rabbits and I know you like cheese because he thought
Velveeta.
Velveeta and Velveteen were apparently the same thing.
I never put that together.
Oh
hilarious.
my gosh.
Gosh, that line lives rent free in my brain. So okay, so after a few interactions with a grumpy cheese man and some encouragement from her new roommate, Ella decides to stay in Paris and she's gonna change her life. She's gonna.
No, she doesn't have a job. She speaks very little French.
She has a big nest egg, though, she says.
Yes.
She has quite a large amount of savings.
Mm-hmm.
And she knows she can stay for 3 months because that's when her visa will kick her out, right?
Yeah.
So she does have some preparation to back her up and keep her there. But can I just say, her roommate, Clotilde, I just loved her. I absolutely loved her. I looked up the actress. I'm going to butcher this. I'm really sorry, but Manon Azem. Manon Azem. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it, but she is absolutely drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah.
I was trying to look and see what else she was in, and there were quite a few things listed, but a lot of them were in French, and there's nothing that I recognized. So I'm wondering if she's in more foreign films. I'm not sure, but I hope to see more of her in Hallmark because I just thought she was so wonderful. She was like the best friend everybody wants. You know, she was just really supportive and sweet.
Yeah. And she came from family money, but she didn't have that attitude of she's better than anybody. She took she took Ella in. No problem. She became her friend. She didn't hold over her anything like, she's this party girl. She's got all this money. She included her in everything. And it was just really a sweet relationship that we got to see develop.
Okay, so resolving to stay for the summer, Ella says that she has 89 days to try 365 cheeses, which equal 5 cheeses per day. And she asked the cheese man to wrap up 5 of his best.
Okay, you guys, she's going to need a gym and a cardiologist. 5 cheeses a day for 89 days. Her arteries are going to be so clogged.
And I don't think she's talking about trying just like, the samples they give out at Met Market, the little tiny. She wants to really enjoy her cheese. So
she wants to savor Paris.
Yeah.
Yes. So she's just only going to eat cheese for 89 days. Cheese and wine and espresso.
Have a
although that does sound lovely.
Oh, yeah.
But the side effects don't sound lovely.
No, but I would like to go to like a cheese tasting. That would be fun.
That would be really fun.
Oh, for sure.
A wine and cheese tasting.
Oh, yeah.
Throw in a little freshly baked bread.
I did go to one of those I flew to Spokane, and I was teaching something, and we had like a big break in the middle of the day. So that my teaching partner and I went to this wine bar, and they had a wine and cheese tasting, and it was a pairing. So it was like a flight of tiny little glasses of wine and cheese to go with each one. So we sat there for like 2 hours. It was delicious. It was so good.
Oh,
That sounds
fun.
lovely. That's totally my speed. I'd love to do that. I've been to wine tastings, but never when they paired it with cheese.
Yeah. It would have been more fun if you guys were there with me, but no. Yes.
Another road trip.
How many of these tiny little glasses of wine can I drink?
So the next good bit of the movie shows Ella securing an internship at Serge, he's the grumpy cheese man, at his cheese shop, and cultivating a relationship with him, or trying, because he's a tough nut to crack, while simultaneously dating Gaston, who is her roommate's cousin. So she's, enjoying the Parisian life.
She's savoring Paris.
Yes. And Gaston, he's a real flirt. He likes to date. He likes to live in the moment. So you can see that for Ella, he's exciting and this is something new. I got the feeling that he was a bit younger than her. And so she's living that life. But this isn't something that's going to be sustainable. He's not the one.
Yes.
I even wrote down, Monsieur Fromage is much better fit for Ella.
Yes, I love how she called him Monsieur Fromage. That was adorable. And I was sad that he told her to stop because at first he didn't even want to tell her his name, right? So she just kept calling him Monsieur Fromage until he finally gave in and told her his name. I thought that was really cute.
Because he wouldn't tell her.
No. And every time Gaston's name came up, everybody was like, oh, he's a cad.
Yes.
Okay, so we understand.
But she
that he has a
didn't
reputation.
take the hint.
No.
She
But isn't it
later on, she's
funny?
like, oh, it's getting kind of serious. And her cousin, his cousin, her roommate is like, it's never
Really?
serious with Gaston.
And it's funny that they gave him the name of Gaston because Beauty and the Beast, he is a cad.
Yes. Why wasn't that a hint? His name is Gaston.
Uh-huh.
Have you seen Beauty and the Beast? You know where this is going.
Yes. So we see some sparks fly or begin to fly between Ella and Serge, which I wonder if Serge is short for Sergio or another name, or if Serge is a French name. I don't know.
I don't know. I like it.
Yeah. But when he tries to kiss her during an intimate get-together, she turns him down because she has not broken things off with Gaston, even though she wants to, but she just hasn't gotten up the nerve.
And she thinks that Gaston is surely showing her the same courtesy, right? Right. Because on Bastille Day, she thinks that he said, because he whispered in French in her ear, that he loves her a lot.
Yes. He said, je t'aime bien. And which means I like you a lot, not I love you. It's what do you call that? It's like regional slang, I guess, or,
I don't know.
If you translated that directly, it would be I love you good. So it kind of makes sense. Like, you're like a friend, so you're cool.
But she doesn't speak very good French. So she thinks he's telling her that he's madly in love with her.
Yeah, she's the one.
And so
I just did a little search on Serge. And what I found is it's an Americanized form of the Italian Sergei, possibly also French, from the Old French sarge, denoting a type of wooden cloth.
Oh.
Woolen cloth. I was going to say, what's a wooden cloth?
Wooden cloth.
It's early here. Yeah, so.
Okay.
Also could be from the Latin name Sergius or Sergio. So we don't know really.
Huh.
If
Woolen
it's short
cloth.
for anything, it's
like the cloth he wraps the cheese in.
Maybe.
Yes. Actually, Phil sent me a video about cheese yesterday because he's got to take Dad's place since Dad hasn't been sending a lot of videos lately because of his phone being broken. And the video was talking about cheese and how it's alive and you shouldn't be putting it in, especially like nice cheese, in plastic bags because you're basically choking it. And that's how it starts to mold really quickly. And so you should put it in cheese paper or in cheesecloth,
Interesting.
and then it allows it to breathe. And then it's not going to go moldy
makes
as
sense.
That
fast.
does make sense.
Although my family goes through cheese so fast, it doesn't matter what we put it in,
There's
it'll
no
never
chance it's
mold.
gonna mold. And are you supposed to refrigerate it? Because you go to a nice cheese shop and are they refrigerated? They're sitting out on the counter. Does it depend on the kind of cheese?
I mean, I think it depends on where
Mhm.
you're at and where the cheese has come from. Mostly, if the cheese has come from the United States, you probably
If
should
I leave a
refrigerate it,
brick
I
of
think.
cheese on my counter in the summer, it's going to melt.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah, that's true. So I wonder if those cases are like not refrigerated,
cases.
but if they're cooled in
Mhm.
like a little bit.
temperature controlled.
But of course, a lot of those cheeses are hard cheeses, so they're
Right,
not going
that's
to
true.
melt as easily.
Mhm.
I love a hard cheese. Oh my gosh, so good. Okay, so Ella goes to find Gaston so she can break things off with him after, like we said, she thinks that he said that he loves her, but it turns out that je t'aime bien means I like you a lot, and he is not, in fact, in love with her.
In fact, he is with another lady.
Yes, he's with someone else. And she's like, what is happening here? What's going on? Oh, you are a cat. Okay, great. Let's.
Good to have that confirmed.
So Ella feels silly for misunderstanding, and she's sad that it seems that Serge does not want to pursue a relationship with her. In fact, he's like kind of mean to her and basically tells her to get out. And I had a little trouble with that scene because I felt like he was overly aggressive with kicking her out.
I think he was definitely more rude than he should have been. However, I think that his pride was hurt because he had shared with her about how his wife had left him. They were college sweethearts, and she had left him because she realized she was in love with someone else. And so that her bringing up Gaston in that moment when he had finally like started to open his heart to someone, it was like kind of a slap in the face to him. And so I think that's where that came from. However, I do agree that he was a little over the top. Maybe don't be quite so angry. But
yeah, he's been guarded throughout the whole film because he's been hurt before. But this was kind of a abrupt reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's not like he didn't know that she was dating someone else.
Yeah,
he knew.
Right.
She was very open about it, very clear about it, and I felt like, what's the problem with her saying, well, I don't want to kiss you because I need to break up with this other person first? Like that, of course, that's respectful, I think. So, but it did kill the vibe.
Well, and I think because he had said on multiple occasions how Gaston is a cad, like in his mind, he knows what this guy's up to. He knows he's familiar with the ladies. And so from his perspective, it's like, why are we showing him the respect that he's not going to show you? But from her perspective, she thinks he's in love with her. So, and isn't that the case so often where we're like, every red flag is being thrown in our path and everyone's telling us, hey, this guy is not good. Not a good situation. And we're all like, oh, but he loves me.
But actually,
no, he loves all the ladies.
He likes you a lot. Along with Angela, Pamela, Sandra, and Rita. Oh my gosh. I'm showing my millennial.
I did love along this ride how she is getting more comfortable in Paris. And she's getting to know Serge more. She's getting to learn more about the cheeses and the culture of Paris. And then at some point she decides, I'm not going to try all of these cheeses. I'm going to slow it down. I'm just going to enjoy them. I'm going to savor them, because she says she felt like she was tasting each cheese, just thinking about what the next one was going to be like. And she wanted to just savor one. And I really liked that change happened instead of her trying to shove a bunch of cheese in her mouth.
Yeah. She's up to this point, she's checking off boxes, but is she really enjoying her time?
Right.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, because that's not what the French lifestyle is about, right? It's about
Mhm.
slowing down, enjoying your life, not rushing from here to there,
Mm-hmm.
which is a very like American thing to do, to just like boom, 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 boom,
Mhm.
let's keep going, right? We have goals, we got to meet them.
Yes, the
Yeah.
American dream. Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad
Yeah.
that she recognized that. So we uh, end the movie with Ella's impending departure getting interrupted by a wheel of cheese from Serge because they made camembert together and it aged while she was spending time in Paris and was ready before she left. So he dropped it off for her. And when she saw that, she decided, nope, I'm out of here. I'm not going back home. And so she shows up at the cheese shop to tell Serge that she's staying,
Because they have to have
and
the cheese
they
together.
make
She
out.
can't eat it by herself.
Right.
And
They have to,
that was
yeah,
the
she's,
cheesiest line. I have to eat this cheese with you. And I think we need a sticker that says that. I have to eat. I'd put it on my water bottle. I have to eat this cheese with you. But I feel like they had to end it, with a kind of cheesy line because of the theme of cheese throughout the movie.
Yeah, because when she was like, "You're my mimolette," I'm like, I didn't get that line. What is that? Why is
Oh,
he
I
her
loved
mimolette?
that. I wrote it down on my notes as like one of my favorite lines because mimolette is the cheese that because she was talking about how great Comte is. It's her favorite cheese.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, you need to try this. It's mimolette. And so he gave her some of it and he was talking about how it's when you just first take a bite, it's fine. But as you savor it, it becomes softer and more flavorful. And he goes on and on about
Oh,
that. And
right.
so when she offers a piece of it to Gaston to try, he's like, I don't really like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Another
cheese.
another
Yeah.
red flag,
Uh-huh.
actually. He doesn't like your
Yeah.
cheese. And he keeps saying, oh, you smell like cheese. And he even buys her perfume so she doesn't smell like cheese anymore. She's like, I like smelling like cheese.
And how much cheese is she eating that she smells like it? It's
Well, she's
coming out of
in
her
the cheese
pores.
shop all day.
She's working. Yeah.
But
But
It's like when I was 18 and I worked at a donut shop, and every day I'd come home smelling like fried donuts and sugar and cinnamon. And I loved it.
I remember our uncle's girlfriend when we were younger. She was a chef
Hmm.
and she had really curly hair.
Yep.
And sometimes when she would come over, she would have like dried noodles like stuck
Parmesan.
in her hair.
She worked in an Italian restaurant.
yes. Oh, we loved her.
Yeah, she was a good one.
Oh gosh. Okay, so obviously they kiss, they're in love, and a fun little montage closes out the film as we see what the next year will look like with Ella and Serge at the helm of the cheese shop. And I loved that part. I thought that was so cute to kind of wrap it up, not end it on the kiss, but show us like, oh, they're going to stay here and they're also going to change the name of the cheese store or the event space to something about cheddar.
La Cheddarie. Yes, I
Yes.
loved that.
Uh-huh.
And okay, this one scene made me think of you, Jessica, and I cracked up when they were first discussing opening the event space that was right next door to the cheese shop. Ella helps Serge open this space so that he can expand and have wine tastings and wine and cheese pairings and whatnot. And they go into the space and she goes, we could have this place open in 6 weeks. And I just had to laugh because I was thinking about how Jessica and Phil are trying to open this coffee shop in Texas. And their initial thought was that it would be open in about, 6 weeks? And
Yeah.
it's been a lot more than that. And
6 months.
and I just thought that was so funny. Maybe the permitting laws and construction rules or whatever are different in Paris, but they sure had that thing open real quick.
They sure did.
Speaking of construction, I was out with Felicity, my daughter, and she's almost 9. You guys know that, but the listeners don't. So we were at a store and she saw a joke on a magnet and she's like, I'm going to tell this to Daddy. And I was like, okay. So we go and stop by the coffee shop while he's working. And she goes, Dad, you want to hear a joke about construction? He goes, yeah. She goes, I'm still working on it.
And that is so accurate.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Every time you think you're almost there, nope.
No.
You need another permit. You hit another rock wall.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
That's funny that
it's
she
so funny.
recognized that you guys are
Yeah.
going through all this.
I love that. That's hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's funny.
Well, I really enjoyed this movie. The overall theme, we kind of skipped over this part, but in the beginning, they show Ella's mom, and she's another one of those kind of overbearing but well-meaning moms who equates success with buying a home, with getting the promotion, with freezing your eggs so that making sure that you're going to have children one day. And then at the end, she realizes that, she just wants to see her daughter happy. And in Paris, that's where Ella is truly going to find her happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so the mom softens with her pushing Ella to do what she thinks she wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I don't think I've ever seen the gal who played her mom before, but I really liked her.
I did too.
And I liked that she seemed appropriate to be her mom age-wise, because a lot of times in Hallmark movies, they're like, oh, this gal's her mom, but she's actually 7 years younger than her.
Yes. Like just dressing
Yeah.
her older doesn't make her look older.
Uh-huh.
They still look like sisters. So
Okay, do you guys want to hear a little bit more about Sofia, the vibrant capital of Bulgaria?
yes,
I would
tell
love
us.
to.
Okay, so Sofia is a captivating blend of rich history and modern charm nestled at the foot of Vitosha Mountain. Wander through its bustling streets to discover the awe-inspiring Alexander Nevsky Cathedral, which is absolutely gorgeous. Did you guys see it?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I'm going to show it to you because it's so beautiful. And we'll put a picture of this in our stories so that you can see it. Oh, wait, that's not the one I wanted to show you. Is it this one? No, this.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
beautiful. Yes.
Isn't that beautiful? Oh my gosh. It's so, so pretty.
See, they just value architecture in Europe. They don't tear stuff down.
It's also so much older than the USA, right? We don't have anything this old. So
Yeah.
we don't, it's just amazing. I would love to go to Europe and see some of the architecture because we don't have it here because we're too young, right? So I would love to see some of that. It's really amazing, really beautiful.
Yeah. The other thing that it's known for is the ancient ruins of the Serdica amphitheater, which is a testament to the city's Roman heritage. And Sofia's unique fusion of cultural landmarks, scenic parks, and lively cafes creates an irresistible allure for travelers seeking an enchanting European getaway. And thank you, TripAdvisor, for that lovely summary.
Mm.
So I went down the rabbit hole of looking at pictures of Sofia. It looks so beautiful. I definitely want to visit. So I wanted to see what would a trip cost? What would it look like to go to Sofia? So I, being the planner that I am, even though I would go on the seat of my pants if I could, I came up with a little itinerary to go visit Sofia. So if you were going to go there for 7 nights, which if you're flying to Europe, minimum 7 nights, probably more.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're flying that far. It is a long flight. For me, I would have to fly from here to DC, then to Munich, then to Sofia. So it's a lot of changing flights. Mom, you would not like that.
Oh, that would cause me so much stress.
But so this trip I came up with, it includes round trip flight, airport transportation, a stay at the Sofia Balkan Palace, which I'm also going to show you guys because it's beautiful as well. So this, let me go to the top.
Oh my word.
That pretty? Yeah. So
absolutely pretty. Gorgeous.
Yeah.
I saw that blue. It's very Elvis looking.
Yeah, it's so gorgeous. It's a very old building, but obviously you can tell it's been renovated. The floors are modern, but a lot of the architecture looks the same.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So pretty.
Built in 56.
56?
Yeah, 1956, it said.
Oh, yeah. It does say that.
Gorgeous.
You're right. So this trip also includes a private day trip to Saporivabanya, which is a town that's known for its hot mineral and clear mountain water, as well as the geyser in the town center. A private evening tour of Sofia with a folklore dinner it's a colorful folklore show with local music and dance while you dine on a 3-course meal. And a Sofia private walking tour with traditional breakfast. And all of that is just $17.70 per person. And
Wow. I was expecting way more than that.
Sounds lovely.
Gosh.
Yeah. Flights there are cheaper. It's like probably a third of what it would cost you to go to Paris.
That's cheaper than our trip to Mexico. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and you could probably try lots of cheese there too. I don't know. And I don't know if it's train ride to Paris or not, if you could, or like a puddle jumper to Paris. I'm not sure.
Wait, that includes airfare and everything? 1,700?
Yeah.
You said I'm thinking $17,000 and you said
Oh,
and that is
so
cheap. And I'm thinking
that's a deal.
You spent more than $17,000 to go to Mexico? They've lost their minds.
No, $1,770 per person, including airfare, hotel, and all of those activities.
That's unreal.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, we might need to put this on our reverse bucket
I
list.
just do layovers and extra flights for that. As long as you guys go with me and I don't have to go by myself.
Yeah. Yeah. And you could even fly to Munich and stay there for a few days, or Frankfurt, stay for a few days, because there's lots of stuff to do in Germany, and then go on.
Wow, that would be amazing.
So, yes. Yeah. So that was my little deep dive into Sofia, and now I want to visit.
I really want to visit the shop in Paris that she went and got her fashion evolution on. It's called Picturesque Paris, and it's actually a real shop. And I want to go so bad. There's so many cute items. You can shop online. Really cute.
I looked it up. I was like, oh, I want this and I want this and I want this. A little pricey, but you can tell it's really well-made stuff. Beautiful.
Yep.
Well, yeah. And if you shop there, then you can, for the rest of the lifespan of that piece, you can tell people, oh yeah, I bought it in Paris. So. Oh, you like this? Thank you. I bought it in Paris.
I have to say, there was one line, I keep saying this was my favorite line in the movie, but I had a lot of them. So she came after she went shopping, her roommate was throwing a party for her. She comes out when she's all ready, and she's wearing that off the shoulder red top with the black polka dotted skirt. And then she had that giant flower on her head, which I wasn't a big fan of the giant flower on her head, but everything else I loved. And she came.
Give me a giant flower. You guys know I love a fascinator. Just
So she came out, and this is the first time we've seen her out of like jeans and a sweatshirt, right? And she's all dressed up, and she looks at her roommate and she says, "Am I too much?" And Clotilde looks at her and she says, "Do you need to be too little?" And I was like, oh yes. I just love her. It was the most wonderful, just supportive best friend kind of thing to say. And I just thought it was really sweet. And you could see her face like light up when she said that. So
yeah, she was like her cheerleader. And I thought that was so cute. No cattiness.
I did love also how she re-wore the same skirt throughout the movie multiple times. It's like, yes, when you travel, you don't have room for a different outfit for every single day. So I really liked seeing that she re-wore a skirt.
Well, yeah, and she wasn't planning to be there for 89 days. She was planning to only be there for 2 weeks?
Yeah.
So definitely she had to buy some underwear while she was there. And so during Bethany Joy Lenz's live broadcast that I watched a few days ago, she played a little this or that game. So I took inspo from that for our game today. But I put my own spin on it. So it's not the same questions she had.
Yeah, let's play.
You guys want to play?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So you guys know how to play this or that. I'll give you 2 options and you choose which one sounds best to you. cheese shop or pastry shop?
Why would you
Oh.
do that? Pastry shop, because you know what? You can get pastries that are filled with cheese.
That's true.
I'm going to go with the cheese shop. As I get older, I'm drawn more to savory than sweet, and I can bake pastries at home. I've gotten really into bread baking and all that, so I can do that myself. Cheese.
I think I would go with cheese shop because I think I could also get like dried fruit and maybe some like fig jam or whatever at the cheese shop.
Sometimes
So,
wine.
That's fair.
Yeah, I can get some other
Speaking
things.
of,
Yeah.
we went to a really cool cheese shop, now that I'm remembering, in Florida when we visited Marco Island. And it was just like that. It had tons of different cheeses. It had wine and like dried fruit and whatever you would really need for a really nice charcuterie board.
Mhm.
It was a great shop. We got lots of really tasty cheese there.
I could just eat charcuterie all day and not eat anything else. That would be just fine with me.
It's my
Yeah.
favorite.
Absolutely.
hmm Okay, would you rather spend the evening by the Eiffel Tower or take a boat ride on the Seine?
What's the weather?
Yeah, that
Calm and clear.
okay.
Boat ride.
I would do the boat ride because there's so much scenery that you can see while you're on the boat.
Can you see the Eiffel Tower from the boat?
I think you can, actually.
Okay, 2 birds, 1 stone. I will take the boat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep, I choose the boat too because the Eiffel Tower is too busy for me.
It is.
It's
You
too many
see
people.
these Instagram photos and it looks like no one's there, but the photo's been cropped and you don't see the thousands.
You know
of
they
people
used
in
the object
background.
remover and got rid of all the other people.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. It's like visiting the Empire State Building. It's just wall to wall people everywhere. So, okay. Parisian cafe or a fancy French restaurant?
Cafe
for sure. I'm not a fancy
agree.
restaurant girl.
I do love a good fancy restaurant. I don't like if it's a special occasion or something. Like my husband and I are going on a date on Friday night to celebrate our anniversary. And we're going to the Oxbow, this really nice restaurant in Sumner. And I say fancy restaurant. This is about as fancy as it gets for me. It's not like $100 a plate, but it is a really nice restaurant. We made reservations. We're going to get dressed up. I'm really excited. But I like that every once in a while. If I'm in Paris, I want to go to a Parisian cafe. I want to have a croissant. I want to have a little cup of coffee. I want to wear a beret, sit outside. Yes. That's
Have the French music playing in the background.
Yes. Yeah, I want to go to a cafe every day, but I would want to go to a fancy restaurant at least once and have like a full 3-course meal and, all the things. And when you're in Paris, like I would blow a good amount of money on dinner. I'm already here. Let's go.
Let's have the experience.
Or go to Bulgaria and spend way less.
Sure.
And it would probably be just as good. Okay, wine or champagne?
Oh, what's the occasion?
You're in Paris.
Wine for me. I don't like champagne. It gives me a headache.
Oh, I love champagne. I'm going to go with champagne. If I'm in Paris, I'm doing fancy things. Give me a glass of champagne.
Yeah, I think
I'll
agree.
go for the fancy wine. I'll go for, we're not talking $2 Chuck. I'll get a nice fancy glass of wine, but yeah.
I'll spend $9 on a glass of wine. Okay, French baguette or croissant?
Oh, croissant. For sure.
Oh, well, I'm going to go for the baguette because I want cheese on my baguette. Maybe a little softly melted cheese or that, what's the one that develops the millet?
Mimolette.
Yes.
Try my mimolette on a baguette.
That is the sticker we need. You're my mimolette.
Oh, yeah, that'd be
I would
cute.
wear a t-shirt that said that. Like a wheel of cheese on it. You're my mimolette.
And people will be like, what does that
Haven't
mean?
you seen Savoring Paris? Everyone's seen Savoring Paris. Come on.
Okay, last one. Would you like to learn to speak French or learn to cook French cuisine?
Speak. As long as it was like something I could learn quickly. Is this magical?
It's not.
Do I actually have to put
Newsflash.
Okay, do I have to actually put the work in, or do I like magically just know how to speak or know how to make French cuisine?
Oh, let's go with magic.
Okay, if it's magic, I want to learn how to speak French. If it's not magic, I would rather learn to cook because learning another language is very, very difficult for me and I don't have the patience for it.
Yeah, if it's magic, I'd go for learning the language as well. If not, then maybe I learn how to cook French cuisine while listening to the Babbel app and learning to speak French at the same time.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, yeah, and my thought was, well, maybe the instructor speaks French, so they'll be integrating it during
Good point.
the class,
Mm-hmm.
so that I can learn to cook and speak. I mean, I would only know how to talk about food, but that's probably sufficient.
What else
honestly.
is there to talk about, really?
Food and bathroom. That's really
Yes.
all I need to know.
You already know my name is.
Just make sure you know that the instructor's not in love with you. He likes you a lot.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Je t'aime bien, not je t'aime.
I loved in the end of this movie when Serge says je t'aime and she says bien, and he's like, no, what?
Yeah.
Like he knows, right? That means I
Yeah.
like you a lot. He's
Yeah.
like, no, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah. All right, guys, it's time to rate this movie. And I've chosen to use cheese wheels as our
Okay.
rating method. So who would like to go first?
I can go first.
Okay, cool.
I really enjoyed this movie because of the different stories. It wasn't just Ella. She, in the end, she decides that her desire for more out of life trumps her corporate job and everything that she's been doing thus far. So she has this great growth over the time that she's in Paris. Serge ends up expanding his business and trusting his heart to love again. Clotilde learns that she's more than a party girl. She's going to open up her own party planning business. Gaston sees the value in slowing down with the right person by your side. And then Laurie, the mom, she loosens the reins of control and allows her daughter to thrive. So you had a lot of little themes going on, and I think they wrapped it up nicely in the end. And I am going to give this one a 4.9. I really enjoyed it. I would watch it again.
Where was the 0.1 lacking?
The 0.1 lacking, I'm not there in Paris. I wish
I don't have the cheese.
Mom's stingy with her fives. You got to book her a trip. Okay.
That's right.
I absolutely loved this movie. I was like smiling, watching it like a dummy, like just sitting there on my couch smiling. I loved it. It brought me joy. I thought it was a really sweet story. I love cheese, so it had that going for it. And it was funny because I watched this, usually I watch these movies with my daughters, but I watched this one by myself. And the next day I was talking about it with Abby and she goes, you watched that one without me? I was like, yeah, have you heard of it? She goes, yeah, it's the one with all the cheese. I was like, yes, I didn't know you wanted to watch that one. So I'll have to watch it again with her. And I do not mind watching it again at all. I'm going to give this one a 5, which is wild. I'm going crazy, you guys. 5 rating, 2 weeks in a 2 movies in a row. But I really, really enjoyed it. The fashion was fantastic. The characters were wonderful. I thought the acting was great. I felt like everyone really fit their role. Like it was a good role for that particular person. I wouldn't have changed any of the cast. There was great chemistry, even between Ella and Gaston. There was chemistry between Ella and Serge. There was chemistry, but you could see the difference between, the value of their relationships. And I just loved it. It was great.
Yeah. And I like that you mentioned about the different relationships and how you can have chemistry with more than one person. Gaston's the exciting guy, but he wasn't the right partner. Go for the guy who listens to you and notices those small details.
Yep.
Yep. I concur. I loved it as well. The fashion was probably the best that I'd wager to say it's the best I've seen in a Hallmark movie or made for TV movie. that wasn't like a royal Christmas or
Right.
whatever, I think they really paid attention to that and they did a good job. And I think that Bethany Joy Lenz is also very fashionable. So I think she probably had a hand in making sure that everything was right.
Mhm.
And that makes sense since she wore some of her own
Mhm.
clothes. And I just love her. I think she seems fun and she's so gorgeous and her hair was super cute. The storyline was great. And I liked how it did follow the normal Hallmark trope a little bit, but it was still different from other plot lines, which was nice. And Paris, is just great. So I give it a 5 as well.
Wow.
I would watch it again just for the fashion to see what I missed the first time.
Yes.
And it's fun to watch these and think, okay, what do I have in my closet that could kind of maybe mimic that? Or maybe I hadn't thought about putting that big flower on my head, but it looks really cute. So yeah, I'd watch it again just to see what she's wearing.
That's what I used to do when I watched Mary-Kate and Ashley movies.
Oh, yes.
How can I
knit
recreate that
caps
outfit?
with the giant flower on them?
Yes, you had them.
We
Yeah.
each had one. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
From Walmart. They were Mary-Kate and Ashley, like their brands.
And now, like, they make those for babies.
Yeah.
Yeah. They do. And Mary-Kate and Ashley are billionaires. So
Yeah. Smart
okay.
girls.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, our episode next week is going to be a roundup all about wedding movies. How do you guys feel about talking about wedding movies?
I am so excited. I love
Too.
weddings. And so anytime they come out with a new wedding movie, I get really excited. I always watch it right away. I'm thrilled. I'm very excited to talk about all things weddings.
And there's so many good ones. This is the time of year to talk about weddings anyway, because it's summertime and yeah, indoor weddings, outdoor weddings. I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Me too. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here today and for listening. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Love on the Pod and share your episode thoughts or ideas by emailing us at loveonthepod@gmail.com. Plus, you can text us with future movie recommendations using the link in our show notes. If you loved this episode and want to hear more, please subscribe to the podcast as we drop new episodes weekly.
So whether you're eating Comté in Paris
Or making camembert with Serge.
We hope you like cheese. Have a great week and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.